Can you make a box cake without the eggs? Short answer, yes. Longer answer, yes, to varying degrees of success. Here on the channel, I've tried it before. I've tried different methods of replacing the eggs to, let's just say different results. There was the kind of okay to the oh my god, are you serious? And the absolutely inedible. But the best part about making those videos wasn't just finding out what could work or not, kind of like a baking scientist, but also the comment section on those videos. Because you guys had a lot of different suggestions of things that might work, that you think would work. And that's what we're doing today. I'm trying 3 new different ways to replace eggs in a box cake to see what works, what doesn't, and what makes it actually taste good, because at the end, that's what matters, that it actually tastes good. So let's get to that experimenting, shall we? And if you're new around here, hi, I'm Natalia Lima, founder and owner of Curious Cat Bakery, an all-vegan bakery where I make everything taste just like or better than the real deal. But I'm not above box cake, okay? So here are the 3 replacements I'm trying on the box cake today. We're trying applesauce, trying soda water, and third, we're trying homemade vegan buttermilk. And don't worry, I'll explain the quantities and the reasoning behind all of the 3 options in just a second. So let's get to it.
So for this test, we're going to be using 8-inch brownie pans. I lined them all ahead of time and labeled them so there's no confusion. And the Betty Crocker cake mix, the yellow cake. It's one of those accidentally vegan things. If you actually look at the ingredients list, you would think it's not vegan, but there's a ton of things in there that you cannot pronounce and you have no idea what they are. But there's no milk, no eggs, no animal products, so it is accidentally vegan. The first test, the only thing that I did differently was use applesauce. I used the Mott's applesauce, unsweetened. In that little container, there's about 1/4 cup in there. Everything else in the recipe, I left exactly as the box suggested. 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, and then I just replaced the 3 suggested eggs with that 1/4 cup of applesauce. The batter came together pretty nicely as I folded. As you can see, the texture and everything just looks like an average cake batter. And as I poured it into the pan, it all just looked pretty standard for a cake recipe. Things are looking good. Now for the buttermilk test, the first step was making actual vegan buttermilk. And to do that, I just mixed some almond milk, completely unsweetened, with some vinegar, apple cider vinegar. And yes, that is a really big jug of apple cider vinegar, but when you're a professional baker, these are the quantities that we're working with. Just put a couple of tablespoons in there and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And what do you know? You got vegan buttermilk. I know, it's super weird, right? But somehow the almond milk curdles and you got vegan buttermilk. Now for this recipe, since the buttermilk was more of a liquid form of egg replacement, I made a couple of changes. So instead of using water, we're just using the buttermilk as the liquid. And I'm still adding the vegetable oil, but that's going to be it. I folded it all in, and again, the result was a pretty nice batter, nothing strange, everything looking good. Just an average cake batter. And finally, we have our soda water. So I just used some club soda. And once again, because it's more of a liquid replacement for the eggs, I took the water out and I just used that one as the egg replacement. 1 full cup of the soda water. Immediately after I poured it, the whole batter started foaming. Look at all that carbonation. So this was a good sign when we're talking about a cake. But once I added the oil, things calmed down. And once again, we just have an average cake batter with a normal texture. I'm not gonna lie though, all of those bubbles scared me a little. So I did put a baking pan in the bottom of the oven just in case things overflowed. And then I let the cakes bake for 28 minutes at 350, just like the box suggested.
Ooh, uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Ooh, okay. And now let's get to the best part of this whole ordeal, which is taste testing. First up, we have the one with the applesauce. So it obviously fell completely apart when I put it on my plate, which not great that it didn't hold together. It is though extremely soft. Soft cake is always a good thing taste-wise, so I never thought I was gonna say this, but apparently there is such a thing as a cake that's too moist. Like this is crossing a line to mushy. That's not a good line to cross. I'm gonna take another bite just in case. Yeah. I don't like it. It's just mush. It feels like it's just been like soaking in milk or something. Like it's just not, feels awkward on the mouth. Like, nope. That's a no for me on the applesauce. And usually applesauce is a good thing to make vegan cakes moist, but apparently there is a line that one can cross, and that line was crossed here. All right, now buttermilk. I had such high hopes for the buttermilk. I really thought it was gonna do best. However, as you saw, the middle collapsed. What that means is that there was too much carbonation, there was too much of a rise in the cake, there was too much of a rising agent. The chemistry didn't work, so we had a lot of air and then that collapsed. However, even with a collapsed middle, I mean, let's see what it tastes like. I've had cakes collapse before and they still tasted good, so. We're kind of in the same mushy territory as the applesauce. Less mushy than the applesauce, but still kind of mushy. And this is not because they're not thoroughly baked. Like, you can see, like, they're baked through. It's not that they're raw. They're just, the texture just isn't right. I mean, the fact that it collapsed in the middle shows you that the chemistry just did not work. That was already a red flag. Unfortunately, the vegan buttermilk let me down. Yeah, this was a fail. And with soda water, as you can see, it held its shape way better than the applesauce. It looks nice and tall. I was afraid that this one was going to collapse because when I mixed the batter, you saw all of those bubbles. So it got me really excited about getting some height, but I was also afraid that it was going to grow too much and then collapse. That did not happen. Yes. Oh, this is good. These box cakes are very, very sweet, and the soda water kind of made it a little milder. And the texture is just right. Like, it's soft, but it's not mushy. And it's just like, it's a good cake texture. I'm seriously impressed. Yeah, that's good. That might be the first time that I've said that with this much enthusiasm doing this series, because it has been a tough go. This is good cake. Like, this is good box cake. You know, I would dress it up a bit, and I do have a whole video about how to dress up your box cake with different frostings and stuff. It's this one over here. I'll put the link in the description below. But this is good cake. Who knew? So if you're gonna make a box cake without eggs, I definitely suggest you go with the soda water. And I'll put the recipe of what I changed and what I kept the same from the recipe in the box in the description below so you can try it yourself. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It will show YouTube that this was actually helpful, and it will show it to other people in the algorithm. Now, if you're new to vegan baking and baking without eggs, I actually have a whole playlist on how to replace eggs in recipes. It's this one right here. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm here every week with new tips, hacks, and recipes on vegan baking and baking without eggs. I will see you guys here next week. Until then, stay curious.